this guy is actually in the cartel. And he's like, yeah, don't tell anyone I'm here.
This is on a flight. My friend and I split a 500 milligram edible.
My friend got peed on by a monkey a few days later.
I was traveling alone in Portugal, walking around the airport begging for money, like homeless or something.
I am going to literally shit my pants if I don't run to the back of this plane right now.
I hear, a loud bang. I see a gun like that.
It's like Grey's Anatomy shit.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the Physio Diaries podcast. We are your co-hosts, Dr. Melanie Ziaziaris
and Dr. Koshevatskiy, where students, healthcare professionals, and wellness junkies come to get the inside scoop of the healthcare and wellness industry.
The podcast you didn't know you needed, by your favorite travel physical therapist.
Welcome back to episode 51 of the Physio Diaries podcast with Mel and Al. Today, we wanted to do something fun, something different, where we get to hear from you guys, and we asked you to share your craziest travel stories. That could mean anything from being a travel healthcare professional or a time you were on vacation and things didn't necessarily go as planned. So buckle your seatbelts, ladies and gents, because we have an amazing episode for you today. But before we do that, if you have not yet rated our podcast, please go ahead and rate us, preferably 5 stars, because we are 5-star girlies that want to continue to grow this podcast together with your help. All right, now let's get into it. So
I'm so excited for this.
I know, I am too. This is like my favorite topic. I was telling Mel, I love hearing like people's stories. Like I love when patients tell us stories.
Yeah,
I love
true.
when you guys tell us stories, and I just love to laugh at, other people's mishaps.
Yes.
So let's get into it. We got
All
a
right.
couple submissions, and we
Yeah.
definitely want to do this more often because it's so fun to hear from you guys. So let me see here.
Yeah, I purposefully have not listened to any of these recordings because I wanted my first time and what is it called? Like the first time reaction to be on here.
Yes, that's
So.
good. I didn't even think about that. And I'm just like, I cannot wait. I was too eager. I was like, I need to hear these. Like, these are going to be so funny. But I haven't listened to them in a while, like since I got them. So some of these some of these they will say who they are. Some of them we're not really sure who they are. So there will be an element of mystery. So here's our first one.
Hi, Al. Hi, Mel. Hi, Physio Diaries. I want to share my craziest travel PT memory. And this is when I was a travel PT about a year and a half ago. I was the only clinician in the facility. So it was literally just me and my girl at the front desk. So there's no PTA, techs, nobody else. And this one day I was treating 2 patients, and I remember they were literally laying on the plinth. And then my girl at the front desk, it was her lunch. So she was on lunch, she went home, and it's just me and the 2 patients. So out of nowhere, as I'm treating, I hear a loud bang. And then I try to figure out what it is because in Arizona, it gets very, very hot. So we always have shades down over the windows. And I couldn't really see through the shade. So I had to run to the front door, peer out. And I see a man with a massive rifle. And I was like, oh my gosh, loud bang, man with rifle. That must be a gunshot. So I yell at patients. I'm like, you guys, hide, go behind the bathrooms. And so I locked the door, and I remember we were hiding behind the bathroom, as far away from the window and door as possible. I am calling 911 at this point because I'm like, I literally don't know what to do. I'm the only employee, I guess, here. And I hear, a loud bang. I see a gun. That's where my mind goes to. And then I'm talking to the police on the phone, and they're like, so, what'd you see? I was like, I don't know, a man with a gun. They're like, are you able to see anything else? And then I'm like, okay, I'll go look really, really quick. So I run to the door really quick, and I see that they're wearing unmarked, pretty much bulletproof vests. And I was like, wait a second, they're wearing bulletproof vests, but it doesn't say police or anything like that. And then they pretty much say oh, well, we don't have any teams out there. And I'm like, well... And so pretty much it ended up being I think, DEA drug bust. And I literally tattled on the police for a drug bust because I ended up being able to see they were trying to get into a car. And I think the bang was them just trying to trying to open the car door or window or something. So yeah, that was terrifying. I was the only one there. It was a good learning experience, to try to act on my feet. But yeah, that was the craziest travel experience, thinking that there was an active shooter. It was really scary. But yeah, thanks for listening. Okay, guys, bye.
That is so scary.
That is terrifying. I'm just
so
like,
terrified.
I wouldn't have done anything different in that situation.
Yeah, she did everything right.
Yeah,
that was like,
but
yeah.
what's crazy to me from that story is that the person on the phone was like, "Can you see anything else?" Like, what? Like,
True.
I would have been. I thought we were taught to like run away and just hide and not like go
That's
out and like
fair.
peek out and be like, "Hey, are they still there? Are they still
She said, "Let me
waving
go."
around their rifle?" Yeah, that's crazy. And what's crazy is like in that scenario, we're the people in charge. Like me, a 28-year-old child is in charge. Like, what?
It's
It's
just
crazy.
that is so just scary to be in a clinic
Yeah.
too by yourself. Like, I
Exactly.
don't like being in clinics by myself. And like, if I am, I'll always lock the door when
Yes.
my patient comes in, just like for safety. But like,
Yeah.
I
That
mean,
is
with a
so
gun, they could have just shot
scary.
through the window. Like,
I know. And then at the same time, it's like if they're going to be doing some like wild stuff right outside of the clinic, like wouldn't you like
Yeah.
notify business owners or like, if you hear gunshots outside, like just don't worry. It's meant to be. Like that's on purpose,
I
Like
don't know
that's
if they can do that, but in an
yeah,
ideal world, that would be great.
I know that's true because they probably don't have that time. But
Yeah.
still, like that's crazy. And that's
That is
obviously not a
crazy.
normal thing. Like I don't think I've ever had anything happen like
No.
that, even remotely like that.
No, not at all. That's like Grey's Anatomy
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, I've heard of like patients like I forgot where it was, but I remember when my coworker said they had a patient like roll over and like a bunch of drugs fell out of their pocket. And then they didn't know what to do and they were like yeah, they were scared. So I think they ended up like flushing, I don't know, something like they flushed them down the toilet
Are
because
you
they didn't
able to just take the drugs and do that? Like,
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure. But the patient was gone already at that point, and
oh, I see.
they couldn't really like be like, "Oh, these for
Yes,
sure belong
okay.
to this patient,"
That
because they
makes
weren't
sense.
100% sure. But that's like the craziest story I've heard in terms of
Yeah,
like
no, that makes sense. If the
drugs.
patient's gone, dispose,
Yeah.
get rid of them
Yeah, they
ASAP.
just disposed of it or got rid of it. But
That's crazy.
my coworker was like, "No, like they should have called the police. They should have like gave them the drugs." I'm like, we're
Eh,
not like, taught on
we're
what to
not
do in these
cops. We're
yeah,
not
we're not
like,
cops. Like
no.
we were just like, okay, like they said they're just gonna dispose of it. And this wasn't me.
Yeah.
Like this was like my coworker
Yeah.
telling a story of like a previous
No.
contract. So like stuff happens where you are not prepared for it. Honestly, the way that this person reacted was exactly what I probably would have done. Like, you are tested in those moments where it's unexpected and something crazy
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's
It's
wild.
wild.
Props to her. Glad
Yes.
everything was okay.
I know. Seriously, that is terrifying. And Arizona seems like because like New Mexico, they have a bunch of like drug busts, and that's where like, did you watch Breaking Bad?
Yo, yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
So
I
that's just
always
like
think about that.
I don't know, I'm like Arizona, New Mexico, like
Yeah, the
they've got
drug scene
some
is big
yeah,
there.
exactly. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's kind of what was happening. But yeah, that is
Yeah.
wild. And I'm glad that they were okay in all of this.
Yes, for sure. Well,
Wild
all
story.
right, next.
Next. This is a good start already.
All right, next story.
My friend and I were in Bali. Everybody was talking about this party because Fisher, the DJ, was playing. And we actually didn't even know who he was, but we just felt like we had to go because that's what everybody was talking about. But the tickets were quite expensive, so we just kind of manifested like getting free tickets. And not even 10 minutes later, we walked onto the beach and we spotted this guy walking 5 wolves. And we were just curious, like, why do you have 5 wolves? And we went up to talk to him and we chatted for a bit. And he was actually the owner of Sabaya Beach Club. And he asked us if we were going. And we told him that we didn't have any tickets. And immediately he hooked us up with free tickets. For the next few days, we went around bragging to people that we were master manifestors and how we got free tickets and all of that. But then when the day finally came, we both got Bali belly. We ordered IV drips to our hotel rooms, and we still didn't feel any better, but we decided to just go anyway. We ended up just puking in the bushes before he even came on, and it was just way too much happening, like too many people. We just felt so sick that we just had to go home. And my friend got peed on by a monkey a few days later, so it didn't really go as planned.
Okay, have you heard of Bali belly before?
There's so many things I have to say.
I
But
know.
no, what the fuck is Bali belly? I've never heard of that. I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, look it up. But I've
What
seen
have
like
you heard?
people talk about it on TikTok. And apparently, like people just go there and like they just get really, really sick. Like people
Oh.
end up in the hospital. Like they just have a bunch of like stomach issues. They're throwing up, like they're puking. It's not the first time I've heard of it. Like that's a big thing. Like Bali looks amazing, and there's a bunch of retreats that go on in Bali.
Yeah.
But I am terrified to go there just because of all those stories that I've
That's
heard.
wild.
Yeah, look it up. But that story is wild. Like
But
they
what
definitely manifested,
they
but
did,
like,
that manifestation was
that's
on point.
crazy.
But like
Yeah.
also, what the fuck had wolves?
Yeah, I wasn't really sure about that
Like
part. That was
actual wolves?
crazy.
Or just like
I wonder
big
if it was
huskies?
like,
I don't know.
yeah, big huskies or something. But like 5 of them, regardless of what it was, is like aggressive.
Yeah, that's
But
wild.
what are the odds that you meet like the owner of this beach club where like
Yeah.
Fisher was performing? Like
Power
also, by the way,
manifestation.
I really like Fisher. He's good. He's, like,
Okay, I
house
also like Fisher,
EDM.
but I don't like I wouldn't be able to name anything of his, but like I like the vibe. And that just
I
sounds
know
so
a
fun to
couple
go to
of
Fisher in
Fisher
Bali.
songs. Yeah, it would have been fun, except they didn't manifest the second part, which
I
like I don't know,
know, that's so
maybe
sad.
I know, maybe because like they got what they wanted, they also had to like pay for it later.
I
But
just
no, that
wonder
is
what they like ate or like what
maybe like
cost.
street food or something. I'm not
Yeah,
really
true.
sure. We will have to find out. I'm curious, so let us know. I kind of always wanted to go to Bali because I thought it would
Yeah,
be cool.
for sure.
Or like for a retreat or something. But
Mhm.
hearing this again, and this is like maybe the 5th story I've heard about Bali
What?
Belly, like
Really?
it's others were on like TikTok or something. But
Oh,
I looked
wow.
into it. I was like, is this a thing? Because everyone was like commenting, like, oh my gosh, I got Bali Belly when I went there. And I was like, what?
Oh my god.
It's terrible. It sounds like what I had in
That's
Ukraine.
scary.
Like you are on your deathbed, like fighting for your life
Yeah,
type of
that's really
thing.
scary. But
And
the
it's
way
like
she
the last
ended that
day.
story that her friend got peed on by a monkey.
Yeah. I wonder if that was also in Bali.
Funny. It must
Yeah.
have been because I know
That's
there's a bunch of
crazy.
monkeys just around in Bali. Like I've seen it with other people that
Yeah.
have gone. Like they're just surrounded by monkeys, and the monkeys just
Yeah.
hop in on their retreats or not retreats, but like resorts and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah. That's
that's really
crazy. That
unfortunate.
story had a lot to unpack. Yeah, that is wild. And that's like the most uncomfortable feeling is like I think being sick, like overseas,
Mm,
where
yeah,
like you're not really sure how their healthcare is and you don't really know where to go to get like medication if you need
true.
it. So
Right.
it's just scary having something like that happen in like your home, like home
Yeah.
country, like versus like being out in like a foreign country where you don't know like where to get healthcare and stuff like
Yeah,
that. So the
for
worst is
sure.
like that hits on the plane. Oh my gosh. Like I would be
Have
like,
you
guys,
had that happen to you on a plane?
yeah, once. Well, it wasn't like to that extent. Like it wasn't like
Okay.
belly
Yeah.
type level, but in New Mexico, I had a bunch of spicy food, and like Ukrainians, we don't eat
Gotcha.
spicy food. Like we eat
Yeah,
very
that's
bland,
fair.
like plain food. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna build up my spicy tolerance on this trip. Like, you know, and all day I ate spicy tacos for breakfast, like
Oh
breakfast
my
burritos and
god.
tacos. And then we had like a bunch of new foods that I introduced way too quickly all at the same
I
time.
see.
And
Yeah, too much at once.
it hit like on this
Yikes.
plane ride from New Mexico. I don't know where we were going.
Oh, that hurts
Um,
thinking about it.
I was not okay. I was like, I
Yeah.
am going to excuse my language, but literally shit my pants if I don't run to the back of this plane right now. And of course, I waited as long as I possibly could. And at the very last moment, I was like, I gotta go. I gotta run. I made the whole line. Like my boyfriend had to get up. Like this dude had to get up. And I ran to the back of the bathroom or the back of the plane. And yeah, let's just say it was not pretty. And of course, when that happened, they just turned on the seatbelt sign. But I think they knew it was an emergency. I was like, I do not care. Like turbulence, I don't care. Like you do not want me in this plane. You know, like it needs to be
for sure.
contained.
That's crazy. Thankfully, I've never
Yeah.
had any situations like that on a plane.
Gosh.
But I've been around friends who had.
Yeah. And actually, you'll see, but one of the stories that we have today has something to do with the plane. There's some crazy things that happen in plane bathrooms, let's just say.
All right, next story.
Okay, so what happened was I was traveling alone in Portugal and I got off the plane and I forgot my debit card. And I was gonna try to use my card to pay to get on the bus where it took me to another bus station that serviced like other buses going out of Portugal into different places. And I flew into Porto wanting to go into Coimbra. So then I get on the bus and I put my luggage in on the little, you know, underneath where you put your suitcase in, and then you get on the bus. And they said, oh, you cash only, but I didn't have any cash with me. And I didn't have a debit card to go to the ATM to get cash out. So then I was walking around the airport begging for money, like I was homeless or something. And I kept asking around, and there was like this really nice lady that gave me 20 euros. I think they use euros there. And by the time I got $20 from her, I was like, oh, shoot, where's my luggage? Because I forgot to take the luggage off of the bus. But then I go back and I see that the bus is gone. So the bus left with my luggage, but not without me. So I had $20 to go on the bus, but I don't have my luggage anymore. So then I go around the airport asking like random, you know, workers saying like, hey, I left my luggage on this bus. Where do I go? Like, who can I contact to tell them like, hey, my luggage is there and I'm not. So then there's this nice lady that helped me out that was coordinating all the buses, and she coordinated it and told the bus driver to leave it at the big bus station where the bus was traveling from the airport to this bus station. So then I took a bus to this bus station, and I'm like walking around this whole plaza looking for my suitcase. And mind you, they speak Portuguese, and I'm an English speaker, Asian chick that's just running around by myself like a mad woman. I'm going to like every store to see like, hey, I lost my luggage and they said they dropped it off here. Where would they drop it off in this plaza? So eventually, like an hour and a half later, I find it, but then my phone's dying. So I had to go find a charger, buy a charger, charge my phone. And then I finally went to like the bus lounge where all the bus drivers go. And I knock on there. I'm like, luggage. And I was kind of putting my hand out like, hey, I need my luggage. They come out and they're like, oh, it's at the post office. So then I walk over to the post office and some nice bus driver helped me get my luggage. And I finally made my way back to the Airbnb, or made my way to the Airbnb. But I'm like, this is why I don't fucking travel alone, because I do dumb shit like this.
That was insane and gave me literally so much anxiety listening to it.
Same. Yeah. So, okay, in Europe, usually I feel like you always need to go and just get money. Like you need to like do some like exchange and just have cash on you.
Just a little, at least
Even
100 euros,
still,
like
something like just in case. But that is so like, that's hilarious. That's like something I would expect to like hear in like a TV show or something. Like
when she said that she realized she didn't have her luggage and she's like going around asking people for money, I literally could not hold my shit. That was like, I just don't understand. I just don't
But also, like, how did the bus driver leave with her luggage? Like, did they not see her put her suitcase on? Like,
They
how
probably
far did
just
she
don't care and
venture?
don't look.
They don't. I feel like they don't care. I feel like that's a thing in Europe. I've heard so many, like, I mean, not horror stories, but like things like this where it's more just like negligence almost. Like, they're just like, okay, like, she's not on the bus. Like, we're going to go and she can figure it out,
Yeah, that's
Or
true.
like,
It's like, yeah,
yeah.
it's your own stuff and your own time, and
Yeah,
it's on
like
you.
Europeans do not care as much about you. Especially I feel like if they know you're American or like you're traveling, like,
Yeah.
okay, like she'll figure it out,
But to not like, did she only have one debit card with her? Like,
I guess. I don't
like that is
know.
crazy to me. I feel like I
Yeah.
always have multiple cards on me at one time
Yeah.
because I just never want to lose anything, and I always want to have another form just in case, especially traveling.
Yes.
That
Yeah.
whole story was insane to me.
I know. And then like she went to where the bag was supposed to be and they're like, "Oh no, it's at the post office." Like, what? Why?
I
But
literally would have to have a whole day to decompress after that. Like, that would
same.
just make me so uneasy. I would never want to
Yeah.
travel alone again. I don't
was
know
gonna
how people
say,
travel alone, to be honest.
yeah, like, would you ever do a solo trip like that?
So I've seen, actually, there's this one influencer that I follow who was based out of Tampa,
Uh-huh.
and she just went on a solo trip to Europe, and she was like documenting about it. And I was like, she makes it look cool, but also I don't think I could ever do it. Like, I just don't
Yeah.
find that fun to me.
Yeah,
I don't
and there's
know.
just also, like, I don't know, I've had experiences where, like, in Europe, where I was, like, out with my sister, and we were out late at night, and I think
Yeah.
she split up with me, actually, and she was walking home alone. No, she was supposed to be with this other girl. The other girl went home with this guy, and then my sister was just walking alone to their apartment that they were staying at the time, because I was, like, with my boyfriend,
Mhm.
and this one guy just literally followed her all the way home and was, like, being weird, and she was, like, really terrified. And I
Yikes.
don't know, that's part of the reason why I don't like to do
Yeah.
things alone in
Safety.
general,
Mhm.
is, like, a
Totally.
safety thing. And, I can be in the clouds sometimes. Like, I will be on my phone, I'll be distracted, like, I'll be like, "Whoa, like, look at that." And, something could easily happen. So I wouldn't feel safe. That's, like, why I wouldn't
Yeah.
do it. But besides that, I think I would love to solo travel because I just love, like, exploring, and it's so much fun, but I think I just can't get past, like, the safety aspect of it?
Yeah. I feel
Like,
like I just need to have one other person, even if
one
we're
other person,
going
yes.
off doing different things, during
Yeah,
the day. Just like knowing that someone else is there that I like actually
like,
know. And
nearby.
yeah.
Yeah, and if something happens like this, like, at least you have, like, backup,
Yeah.
like,
Right.
somebody can help you.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah. I would
but
do a retreat by myself, but like
I
to
would
just like
too.
book an itinerary on my own and like have a whole excursions and whatever planned and exploring. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, but that is a wild
That
story.
was that
Crazy.
was that like hurt my soul to hear.
Everything just kept going wrong. The debit card, the thing on the bus, and then, like, begging for money and having to find your
Oh
suitcase
my
and not having a
gosh.
charger, like,
That
because
was
of course all your
terrible.
stuff is in the bag.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my
that's
gosh.
wild.
All right. Next story.
Okay, next one.
Okay, so this was when I was studying abroad in Mexico, in Monterrey. This guy, Spanish guy from our program, he was kind of like a total tool. He had like a tattoo on his waist that said never enough, just to give you an example. But anyways, he had a party like in a villa kind of outside the city and invited like 100 people or something. It was like a group of 5 of us who went to this party. There was like a strip show, like he got like a lap dance in front of everybody. There was a pool, people were like drunk as fuck, whatever. It was kind of like a normal party. We got so wasted that we just ended up like passing out at the party. And my friend who had the car had like driven us, and she was too wasted to like drive us back. So we are like, oh, guess we gotta like stay at this party. All of us kind of like wake up at maybe like 4 or 5 a.m. on the trampoline to like this villa, and this whole place trashed. Like, absolutely, it's trashed. And we're like, fuck it, let's just start, messing around. So we start playing this like batting game with like all these vegetables and fruits that are just like left over from the party. So we're like smashing watermelons with like baseball bats and just like doing the most ridiculous shit. Then we like hear music. So we go to like this other party or rave party thing happening nearby. So we're at that thing until maybe like 5 a.m. Then I wake up on the trampoline at maybe like 7 and we're all like, okay, we need to get the fuck out of here.
Okay, what?
That was just like
insane.
classic, just casual Mexico parties, you know?
Yeah. I love it. She's like, yeah, that was just, typical party. Like there's strippers and he got a lap dance in front of everyone and there was like 100+ people.
Yeah. All right.
That
So
is
they sent in
crazy.
a second story then because they didn't think that one was good enough.
Okay, let's hear it.
The other one is I was traveling by myself to Medellin, Colombia. And my boyfriend at the time, he was half Colombian and he had a friend there. So he told me to go party with this guy. Literally first hour there, I get to the hostel. There's like a 6 bunk room and then like 2 guys sitting on the beds of this one bunk. 10 minutes into being there, they offer me a bump of start talking and slowly figure out this guy is actually in the cartel. And he's like hiding out there at the hostel because they're after him. And he's like, yeah, don't tell anyone I'm here, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, shit. Should I be here? But I was like, should I go? Like, but at that moment, my boyfriend's friend came to pick me up in this taxi to this other party, like DJing, partying. They're also drinking this like purple liquid. I think it's like lean or something. But it had a whole bunch of like random shit mixed in it. And they kept offering it to me. We were literally there till 7 a.m. And when I like told my boyfriend's friend in the taxi going home, I was like, oh my God, this was so fun. I can't believe like I just happened to be in town for this great party. It was like, oh, we're doing this again tonight. Just like, yeah, we do this like 3 times a week. I was like, what? And then the taxi dropped me off, and that was that. The cartel guy was nowhere to be found. So I don't know if he got snatched up or he made it out, probably. I don't know. But crazy story.
I was not expecting that to go in that direction.
Yeah, I don't know what I was expecting, but it was not that.
It was not that.
What? Okay, I agree.
So
I think
funny.
the first story was crazy, but then the second story just like kind of blew that out of the water. Like I'm like, oh yeah, whatever. You
100%.
partied, whatever. Slept on the trampoline 2 nights in a row. Okay.
Just random in Colombia, you know.
Yeah. No, but that is wild. Like this guy was like hiding out in the hostel. Like don't tell anybody.
The way she just talked about the drugs that she was doing was so funny.
Oh my God, that is crazy.
Yeah.
Wild.
That's a wild gal right there.
That is a wild gal.
I'm sure she has some more stories.
Yes. If that was just the 2. But yeah, that was crazy. Absolutely
what an
crazy.
Assortment of stories.
But this is why we travel. Because like you have to go outside of your comfort zone, out of your bubble to like ever have these experiences. Like if you're just going to stay in your hometown, which like if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do, But for me, I love having these like crazy experiences because that's just how you just like build in life. Like I just don't get how people like don't travel. I understand traveling is expensive, but for us, I think we both like we are not materialistic people. Like I'm not into like designer bags. I'm not into that kind of thing. Like I want to have experiences. I want to be sleeping on the trampoline until 5 a.m. Like I want to get lost in like Porto or wherever she was, like for me, that's more important is like prioritizing travel,
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
Yeah. And that's why like it's so fun to like listen to these stories because I'm just like, I love that.
Yeah, we've had Arizona, Colombia, Portugal. What?
all over
Oh,
the world.
Bali. Literally.
Bali, yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, you gotta
All right.
step out and live life. And all these stories are just so great. Which brings us into the next one. When we got the submission, I literally read it and I couldn't stop laughing. And I think you guys will appreciate it as well. This one I'm going to read because it wasn't a voice memo. It was like submitted. Here's some context before I like read the whole thing. This is on a flight. My friend and I split a 500 milligram edible and also another pack of 60 milligram gummies because we thought we would get in trouble if we got caught bringing edibles like on the flight. Okay.
That made my stomach turn. Just
I
listening to
know.
that.
Just the context alone.
500 milligrams.
I know. I'm like, yeah, that I would be dead. That's
I
crazy.
would be
Also,
hospitalized.
what about just like, tossing it out in the trash,
What about like 5 milligrams,
Yeah,
Like,
I don't
take
know.
a little bite.
That's the context.
Okay.
All right. So it feels like my head was spinning. I was nauseous and super dehydrated. So I called a flight attendant over to ask for some water. And this was before the flight even took off. And I was sitting in the middle seat, which is not a good place to be.
Terrible.
Yeah. I couldn't hold it in anymore. So I puked. I couldn't hold it in anymore. So I puked in my mouth. Then the aisle seat guy shot up out of his seat and I ran. Wait, the text is so small. I ran to the front of the plane and barfed in the bathroom, door open, everyone on the plane watching. Like,
Oh no.
feet out of the bathroom, like face in toilet. The flight attendants were like, what the actual fuck? Then I sat back down and the aisle guy was sitting as far into the aisle as possible. And the window girl basically, sorry. And the window girl basically had her face pressed up against that window. I had to yak again, but I couldn't pick up and open the bag in time. So I yacked on myself and on the floor next to aisle guy. Love making new friends on flights. So I just accepted my reality and slept for the rest of my flight and threw my scarf on the vomit. Then went home and slept for a very long time.
That
Okay.
is disgusting.
Yes, I know. This story, like,
That's crazy.
honestly, this is the one I was talking about that was like, shit happens in the back of the
True.
airplane, in the bathroom.
True.
Like, that is crazy. Like, the
Door
fact that,
open, puking. Feet out.
yeah, it's
That's-
just funny that they were like, it'll be fine if we do this, if we bring these on. But then at the same time, they were like, maybe it's not okay. We need to dispose of these. But I love how like dispose meant like consume, you know?
I just I don't know how that person even was able to walk and function like that.
I mean, they
amazes me.
weren't. Like,
I mean, like
yeah.
to get off, they must have got off the
Yeah.
airplane and been
I know,
okay.
I know. I think like honestly, like that stuff needed to come out of their system because yeah, it's just I would be unwell. Like
Oh my
I don't
God.
know. That's crazy. But that is like so funny too that was happening. Like that's hilarious.
Throw up stories just like make me so that
I
just
know.
hate.
And honestly, like I feel terrible for the people sitting around them because
Yeah.
I get nauseous, like smell of puke. Like
Yes.
we've had
the
people like throw up
smell.
in the clinic and I cannot be around it. I'm like, I'm so sorry. Like I need to be out of here because I will puke if I see puke, smell puke, like ugh, gross. And I can't imagine sitting on an entire flight like that.
No.
Like flights are already uncomfortable. Sitting in the middle seat, no thanks. But sitting like that.
I wonder how
I'm
long this flight was
so-
also. Like, was it a quick
Same.
domestic flight or was it like
I
a
have
long
no idea.
distance?
That was like
That-
one of
oh.
the crazier stories we got. And it was like, wow.
That is so terrible.
I
feel
know.
so bad for this person, but
I
also
know.
500
What were they
milligrams? Are you
thinking?
kidding me?
Yeah. Well, they split it, but still, that's a ton. Like, that is a
250.
ton. That's a lot.
And another pack of 60 milligram gummies.
Yeah, it's crazy. I am glad that they're okay now.
Yeah.
But I also feel terrible for
Wild.
everyone on that plane. But
Yeah.
honestly, flight attendants say some crazy shit. Like they
True.
do.
True,
I saw
true,
this
true.
video of a guy like 2 days ago, I think. This guy was just like drunk on the plane and he was like threatening people and like saying like creepy things to girls.
Oh, that's
And
awkward.
thankfully there was this like 6'6" like security guard.
Wow.
And he was like hearing all this stuff go on. And like the flight
Yeah.
attendants were trying to like calm this guy down and he was just like not having it. He was just being rude. And then they overhead, they kind of said like, we're not going to be serving alcohol on this plane for the duration of the flight because
Yeah.
this guy was just like way too drunk and like being
Oh,
like
no, that's
a
scary.
menace. So
Yeah.
eventually this guy just comes up, he gets out of his seat. This guy's basically touching, like his like bald head is almost like touching the like roof of the
Yeah.
plane. And he picks this guy up, literally his feet are off the floor, and he sits him down in a seat and like buckles him. And I was like, why did this guy not come up in like earlier? But I think like he was just trying to like let this
Yeah.
guy calm himself down. You are an
Yeah.
adult. This guy's a security guard at a high school somewhere. You are acting like a child, like on this plane. But he got pissed off when they like said they were going to stop serving alcohol because of him. And he was like, what the heck? So
Ugh, people.
crazy stuff happens on planes, you know?
Yeah. True.
But yeah,
All
that is
right.
a wild story.
Yeah.
Okay. Next one, Mel.
So, yes, this is from TikTok comments. So, I'm going to just read the comments of some like brief, quick stories.
Yeah.
One person said, got kicked in the shins by horses while riding a horse on a date in the desert of the pyramids in Egypt and had to get stitches.
Yikes.
Like, how fucking random is that?
Yeah.
And needing stitches? Like, that must have been deep. Ow.
I wonder if they're still together.
They are not.
Oh,
I know that
they're
for a
not.
fact.
Oh,
They're
okay. That's
Well,
crazy.
I don't think so. But yes.
Well, you know, it's for the plot. But
For
that
the
is
plot.
crazy. That is crazy.
It's just like needing to get stitches from horses kicking you in the shins. Like, that must have hurt so much.
I know horses are strong. Like a horse's kick
are.
could like literally knock you out. That is
Yeah.
wild.
Another food related thing. My sister got awful food poisoning and threw up 8 times on her first flight and then had a 12-hour layover on her way back from her spring break trip to Spain. And it was her birthday.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
so
To top
awful.
it off, it was her birthday.
Just being sick on an airplane sounds like the worst thing ever. Like,
Yeah.
oh my God, you can't even like lay out. You can't even.
No. Like
No,
there's like
that's
literally
awful.
nothing. And then the seats are so uncomfortable. You're just way too close to people. Like you're already claustrophobic.
Yeah, no, absolutely not.
This is
That's, like,
all
the
we're
bane of my
talking about all of
existence.
this before my flight to Barcelona from SF is almost 12 hours.
Oh, is it
And
one way?
it's one way, thank goodness.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's
But
good.
I'm just like, I need to
Yeah,
be
it's
careful.
long.
Like, I need to not eat any weird things. And
Yeah.
I need to, you know, be like
Cleanse
very safe.
before.
Cleanse. Yes. Because all these stories are kind of making me
I
worry.
know, they make me
But
nervous too. Like, I want to go to
yeah.
Bali so bad. And I'm like, well, okay, now I need to be strategic.
Just bring a suitcase full of snacks
Yeah.
and you'll be fine. Just don't eat any weird street food and you'll be fine.
True.
Okay. Next one was a voice memo submission.
Hi, this is Kristen. When we were going to our honeymoon in Peru, we were flying through Miami, and our flight from Philadelphia was an hour and a half delayed. So we had to run through the airport in literally 15 minutes, and our plane was already boarding. So it was crazy, and I would love to never make that type of connection ever again.
I feel like that is
Yeah.
very stressful. I
That's
just had
like
that
so
happen.
realistic. Oh my God. I know.
Yes, it's the worst. And you always hope like you're in the airport and you know, like I'm the type of person who's like, I arrive at the airport like way too freaking early and I don't care. Because I do not want to be that person. But obviously, like in this case, like there's no way they could have avoided that because it was a connection. But I look and I see people like full on sprinting with their suitcase and sometimes like a child in the airport. And I'm like, please let that never be me. And that happened to me a couple months ago. It was so stressful when I was coming back from Chicago. I was flying into San Jose and my connection was an hour and we were delayed an hour. I'm like, cool, great. Like I have to work tomorrow morning and I was already getting in really late. I legit barely made it. I made it by a minute. They were already boarding. And I was like, thank goodness. Thankfully, it was like C34 and then C36. So it was like we're close by. But still, I was stressing. Like I was like telling people around me, like, just so you know, like I'm going to be that bitch. Like I'm going to be like standing up as soon as this plane lands, like as soon as I can. And I'm going to be out of here. Like at least I told people and I warned them. I was like, my plane is already boarding. So they were like understanding. Plane etiquette, that's like a whole nother thing that we could talk about. Like,
yeah, for
but
sure.
anyways, yeah, that is crazy. And I hope that you also never have to go through something like that again. Especially on your honeymoon. It would be like, this can't be happening.
There should be no stress.
No. Yeah, the wedding's over. Let's party now. Okay. Was that all of the submissions that we got?
I think so, yeah.
All right. So we wanted to share some because you guys shared with us and we appreciate you guys telling us your crazy stories because honestly, traveling isn't always sunshine and rainbows. No matter how much you plan or don't plan, like things will go wrong and you kind of just have to go with the flow. We wanted to share a couple stories. I don't know if we've like shared some of these on the pod before, but like we will resurface some of them. This is like more of a travel PT story. It was my first contract in North Dakota and we were living in the independent living, basically. We had, grab bars, grab bars by the shower. We had like one of those like pull if you need help type of thing, like if you can't get off the toilet or you fell in the bathroom type thing. Like it was old. It was like definitely like accessible. Like you could fit a wheelchair in there, like that kind of thing. And all of our neighbors are like basically like older people that are not like sick enough or have progressed dementia where like they can't take care of themselves, like can still drive. They just have memory loss. We had a shared laundry and I left it in the laundry room, the dryer, because I just didn't have time to grab it. I worked in the clinic that was like in the basement of the hospital and the hospital was attached to where we lived. So it was all one building. This is like a tiny town in North Dakota. And I come back and my laundry's gone. And I'm like, what the heck? There was a little black dress. It was like a cute little black sweater. There was my favorite black work pants. It was all like my dark clothes. Yeah. And some of the stuff in there I had never worn. I just bought. So I was excited to wear it. And I'm like, what the heck? Why is it gone? Somebody must have stolen my laundry. So then I told like the director of the living facility, I was like, hey girl, like my laundry's gone. Like, can you just let me know if you find it or you like hear anything about it? Like, I think someone may have accidentally taken it, So a day later, she comes to my clinic. Like she finds me in the basement of the clinic, like where the clinic is. And she's like, I think I found your laundry. And I was like, oh, great. Like, do you want to just give it to me? She's like, oh, I'll have you come over to like this person's apartment and I'm going to have you like look and see if it's your clothes. And I was like, okay, yeah, I can do that, I guess. I didn't know the person was going to be there. So literally this person is standing there and I'm digging through her closet. I found my pants that they were folded in her drawers. I found my little black dress. I like pull it out and I see like one of her gray hairs on it. So to this day, I don't know if she like intentionally took it or not. I found my sweater and everything too, but it was just so awkward. I was like, oh my God, you're going to make me dig through this woman's closet and be like, yeah, this is mine. This is my, pretty sure you haven't worn a little black dress in a little while. Like, I mean, like not
so
judging.
creepy.
Yeah. And it was weird because I know she tried on my clothes because like there was her hair on it. Like I don't have long gray hairs, not yet.
Out.
I know. And I was like, what the heck? I learned my lesson. Like in college, in literally the 4 years that I did laundry in like a shared space, that never happened to me. And I would leave my clothes. Sometimes people would just like put it on top, but nobody ever stole my clothes. And that was just so weird.
That's so creepy. And the fact that you were living in that independent living was so fucking funny.
Oh, I have another story from that place actually. But basically, I was creeped out, like I was a city girl. I'm used to noises and constant like honking, sirens, whatever in the city. And that makes me like weirdly feel safe. True. Just like feeling like there's people around. There's nothing like shady happening. Like shady to me is like dead silent. Birds are chirping.
Like the woods.
Middle of the woods, like something's going to happen. I was always a little on edge in this like little tiny town just because it was just like new for me. Yeah. And one night I wake up to like knocking. It's literally like this, like
Oh, that like gives me
Yeah.
shivers.
That, and it would stop for a couple minutes, and then again, same thing. Our place was the closest to the door where you enter. It sounded like it was right outside our window. I woke up my boyfriend. I was like, Hippo, like, do you hear that knocking? And he heard it too. So what we did, and we were freaked out. I was like, this is a tiny town in North Dakota. Like, the odds of it being a serial killer is like low. But it's not zero, okay? It's not zero.
Yeah.
So I'm not opening my shades. I'm not turning on any lights to like let him know that we're awake. Called the nursing home number. I found it and I called because I knew they always have nurses there. And I told them, I was like, I'm hearing this knocking, like it's freaking me out. I just want to make sure it's not one of your residents. So they ended up going and looking, and the knocking finally stopped, but they didn't call me back and I went to talk to them the next day. They told me that it was one of the residents that we lived with, like in the independent living, but she for some reason ventured out and like to her car, but then forgot her keys and then got locked down in the middle of the night. This lady ended up moving into the nursing home, like I think the next month. Like she was ready. But yeah, that was crazy because I was like, there's a slim chance that like this could be a serial killer and I don't care. It could be an older resident, but in the chance that it's like a murder, I'm not opening it.
That freaks me out.
Thank God it ended up being, but like the way that she was knocking was like so weird. It was like every so often, and I could not sleep. I did not sleep the rest of the night, and until
I
like
would
it
not be able to
stopped.
sleep.
You never know which area you're in,
Yes.
and I get more comfortable like later on in my contract, but like early on, I'm kind of like, like I could die. I don't know the people here. Like,
Yeah. No,
yeah,
that's really creepy. I
it
don't,
was creepy.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
I don't like that at all.
I know. Yeah.
Sage the whole place.
Yes. Burn it down.
Yeah. Well, okay, I've said this story, but it's been almost a year now.
But it's so wild that like it needs to be resurfaced.
Yes, that's fair. It still gives me PTSD. Oh my gosh.
Crazy.
So much PTSD. But my boyfriend and I were going to Greece, okay, for like 2 weeks. And I had this little stupid TikTok shop thing that I got that projects different colors and patterns on the wall. And, it's a cool vibe for at night.
Yeah.
And so I had it sitting on my little nightstand next to the bed. I was doing things last minute for the trip because we were leaving Saturday morning and it was Friday night, and I was booking things. I got us a winery in Santorini. I booked like the ferries to the islands and just like hopping from island to island. I was doing all the things, and you need your passport number for that. I had our passports out then, ready to go. I had the passports also on my nightstand. We wake up Saturday morning. I look. Something is melted on this fucking passport. The lamp has fallen over directly into the middle of the fucking passport. And it fucking melts it and burns the most important part of the passport, which is the picture, name, and barcode and identification. Literally, none of the back. If it was even flipped over, it would have been fine. If it was flipped over, it would have just got in the back, which means nothing. But of course, that's be the fucking front and most important part of this passport is now ineligible to be used.
And this is the day before your flight.
No, this is now the morning.
This is the day of. Yeah.
Yes.
But it happened literally the night before.
Yes. I am like in shambles. I am like, I don't think I've ever felt this like
level of stress.
Yes. Like pit in my stomach. Like there's no way we're not going to fucking Greece because of that fucking TikTok shop lamp. And I'm like calling Alice, doing all the things, right? Like trying to figure out what I could even do. But of course, it's the weekend and nothing is open on the weekends. So I'm like on the phone with the like same day passport people, but the only next appointment is Monday and it's Saturday and we're supposed to be in Athens literally tonight and go to Santorini on fucking Monday, and now we have to go to fucking Miami on Monday to get a same day passport to eventually get to Greece. And so we get to Greece 3 days later. We go from Tampa to Miami to get the passport, and then our original flight was out of Orlando, and so then we drive to Orlando.
That was okay. Honestly, that is just like Crazy.
Yes.
What a series of unfortunate
What
events.
are the odds?
What are the odds? That is the time when I think like it wasn't meant to be. That
Clearly,
is just
something
too
was going to
specific.
happen. I don't know.
Yeah, like who knows if your flight maybe from Orlando would have gotten canceled or whatever. I don't know. Like, or
Yeah.
God forbid, like
Who
something worse
knows?
happened. You
Yeah.
don't know. And that was like the
Yeah.
silver lining was like, I just knew. I was like, you were not meant to leave today. Like,
No.
are you kidding?
No, that was
Yeah.
actually insane.
So-
it took me a while to recover from that.
Yeah. And it's
Yeah.
been, I guess, a year. It's been a year since we talked about, it's been a year since
11
you went to
months.
Greece.
11 months. It's in
What?
September will be the year. Yeah.
This
I know.
year?
Isn't that crazy?
Where did it go?
I know.
But anyways, my question for you after that story is, do you still have that TikTok shop lamp?
Oh, absolutely not. We threw it out that day.
Okay, good.
We literally couldn't stand to look at it. Every time I looked at it, I just wanted to fucking cry. That shit got thrown out immediately.
Okay, good. Okay.
Oh my God. No.
Yeah, that is
and that was the last time I bought anything from TikTok shop. I've never bought anything from TikTok shop since.
I know. Oh my gosh. TikTok is annoying me right now because I feel like almost every video that I see has some sort of thing that's like sponsored or like something that they're
there's a lot of ads
selling.
now.
There's a lot
so many ads.
And then also you always see that little box on the bottom that they're like promoting a product. And I'm like, can I just see like, I like TikTok because it's like fun videos, you know, like every once in a while, I get it. Like that's how people make money, but every single video is like something on buy this on TikTok shop. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to save money. You know.
But now I never have passports out in the open. They're always in my case, which is crazy because the case was there too and got partially burned, but it went through the passport.
It's crazy. And we talked about this before too, is like, wouldn't you think that they would be more durable? They should survive a fire. Like passports need to be made that they could survive anything. Tornado, fire, literally like any catastrophic event, let alone a little light from TikTok shop, you know?
It was tragic.
That is tragic. When you told me that, I told my whole family. I was like, guys, I don't know who to talk to like about this, but I can't believe this is happening. And like you were so excited for that trip. And that was your first time in Greece too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, we're fucking going to Greece. I'm making it happen no matter what.
It does not matter. Yeah. I will forage a passport. Just kidding. But yeah, it was crazy when you told me that. I was like, I feel helpless. I don't remember where I was at the time. I was in Washington, I think.
Yeah.
About to go to
before you
Wisconsin.
went to Wisconsin. Yeah.
Yeah. And I just felt so helpless. I was like, Mel, like I was looking up places she could go or like looking if they had appointments. I'm like, my parents, this happened to them. Like they basically realized their passports were like expired or something and they had to fly to like New Orleans before they went to like Cyprus. I don't know where they went. They had to go to New Orleans last minute because that was like the soonest appointment that they could get to get an expedited passport. And I was like, okay, bet, like go to New Orleans. That was one of the wilder like travel stories that I've heard. It's crazy. It's always when you like literally can't have anything happen. It happens.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Okay, so basically my family came to visit. We were all staying at this Airbnb. We were in Carmel and then we live in Seaside, which is literally 10-15 minutes away. But I packed a little suitcase for the weekend because like I just wanted options for clothes and like all my stuff was just in a little like carry-on. And I packed all my stuff because it was Sunday and everybody was leaving. They were flying out of San Francisco, which is 2.5 hours away. I packed a little suitcase and I put my suitcase out in front, like by the little like entrance, just so we can, you know, like put it in the car. And I think it was my dad or someone accidentally took my suitcase and put it into their car that was going to San Francisco. And, you know, my family's always running late. Like we're always running on our own schedule and our own time. My grandparents were like freaking out about missing their flight, which like valid, you know, because they were going to Mexico after that. So anyways, I realized, so we were the last people to exit the Airbnb because I wanted to clean up. I wanted to like take care of stuff because everyone had to leave and fly out and we live here. So I was like, I'll take care of it. I'm just like cleaning everything up and I'm like, this is weird. Like, why did someone take my bag that was on top of my suitcase and just leave it there? Everything's falling out of it, but they took my suitcase. And I'm like, wait, who took my suitcase? And I was like, my suitcase is not in our car. I call my parents. They're already like 30, 40 minutes, like, or 30 minutes towards San Francisco. I'm like, guys, please tell me you do not have my suitcase. It has like all my clothes. It had my Dyson.
Yeah.
Like I was like, I need this back. What are you going to do with my suitcase? I need my stuff. So they're like, we just don't have time to turn around and go back and drop it off. So they stop in this little like strip mall and there's a Home Depot, and my grandma, she's like this little like Ukrainian lady, is frantically running. She's begging like Home Depot to take my suitcase, but like they're not going to take an unidentified object, like some random person's suitcase. Like it could be a bomb. Like they're not going to take it. So they're freaking out. My dad is like threatening to like stay there and then have me drive and just like give me the suitcase. But I'm like, Dad, like you have to make your flight, you know, like I'm not going to make you leave. In the midst of all of this chaos of my dad screaming, my grandma like frantically running with my suitcase and trying to like pawn it off to people. Like, can you just imagine this? This guy, this genuine soul, like these people still exist. I was shook. Wow. He overheard all the commotion and he said, you know, I can't help but to hear like everything that's going on. I can wait here in the parking lot with the suitcase and I can meet your granddaughter and give it to her. And my grandma was like, yes, thank you. Like, what an angel. So I met this guy in the parking lot of Home Depot and he literally just like gave me my suitcase. And I'm like, this is
what
like
a kind soul.
What a kind soul. I don't know. People are so nice. I texted him because like my grandma got his number. And I texted him. I was like, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. He was like, no problem. Just pay it forward. And I have yet to pay it forward, but I promise I will.
What a,
what
a lesson. Like, just pay it forward.
I know. I was like, that was so nice. Like I didn't have cash on me. Otherwise I would have given him something, but like he just said, no problem. Just pay it forward. And I still need to do that. But yeah, that was like crazy. I was like, oh my gosh, like, of course. I was relieved that the trip went smoothly and everything went well. And then, of course, I was like, shit, all my stuff is gone. Like, what do we do? And they're late, so they couldn't come back, you know? But
what an ending to the travel stories.
Yes. Yeah. Crazy. Thank you guys for sharing your stories and sharing with us, because I feel like we always have wild stories, but I know you guys have them too. And we just like to hear from you guys too.
Yeah, and if you didn't already listen to last week's episode, I talked about my travel PT crazy story where I got scammed on Furnish Finder. So if you haven't listened to that, go listen because I say it in detail in last week's episode. All right. Thank you all for tuning in to this week's episode. We want to do more episodes like this where we get to hear from you guys, our lovely audience, and physio friends. So look out for those in the future where you can just like message us or send us voice messages, whatever is most convenient for you. Keep liking, following, engaging with our content on all of the platforms. And we see everything, even if we don't get to respond to everything. It can just get a little overwhelming with our socials and then the podcast and then just life. So just comment, message us, whatnot. We will see it eventually. And tell us what topics you want us to talk about or guests you would like us to bring on the show. You can just tag us on social media or just message us. So yeah, we hope you guys have a great rest of your week and we will talk to you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.